knowledge is the light that guides humanity forward. From curiosity, we seek understanding. For centuries,
in a vast sea of information, AI connects the dots, shaping the future of knowledge.
Alright, so now let's go into the definition and key concept of this topic. So we're going to start with the AI first. AI, or we call it as artificial intelligence, refers to technology that can perform tasks similar to human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, and problem solving. And these AI include like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Siri. So while AI makes information easily accessible, it has contributed to the rise of the Google generation. So the Google generation will refer to a group that depends heavily on the internet for instant answer and often pay less attention to verifying information sources. Right, so that is definition and key concept of AI and Google generation shortly. So now we're moving on to the knowledge, the meaning of knowledge itself. So in Islam, knowledge or ilm is not merely collecting information. So true knowledge involves understanding, reflection, and applying what we learn in our daily life. So it should come from authentic sources and guide us closer to Allah. Therefore, while AI is a useful tool for obtaining information, we must use it wisely and ensure that the information is transformed into meaningful knowledge.
Let's move on to the analysis. So this paper will discuss about the epistemology of artificial intelligence and the Islamic and its position in Islamic standpoint. So firstly, we would like to look at the discussion from the definition and perception of knowledge. And firstly, we want to know how AI works. So AI works by replicating human intelligence, allowing it to think, reason, and also solve problems like human. So this results in a rise of algorithmic truth, where nowadays people tend to use AI in searching for everything, and it somehow construct or shape our belief and knowledge. So based on the table that I have provided, which are all the definition of knowledge based on Islamic scholars. So all these Islamic scholars have similarities in their definition of knowledge, where they define it as something that is established through firm conviction and unwavering truth of its certainty. So when someone gain knowledge is something that they really certain of the truth. Meaning that if you have a slightest doubt, then it is not knowledge. It is not knowledge. But however, AI is using a black box model, where they use or their decision are is making us feel doubt and also uncertain about where the sources of this knowledge came from. It is contrast with what the scholars have said, where we have to be very certain about the concept or a certain concept or a certain idea for us to consider it to be knowledge, to be a knowledge. But when we take information from AI, we became confused, or we became doubtful of where are the sources of this knowledge came from. So it is not considered as knowledge in the Islamic standpoint. Again, we will focus on the highly constructed and fallible nature of AI generated knowledge. So somehow the training data that result in generating AI knowledge or AI content usually full of bias, limitation, and also hallucination. For instance, maybe we can say that Muslims are associated with terrorism, as it mainly based on the 9/11 event. So this is somehow will contrast with what Islam has taught, where we should not discriminate others based on their races or ethnicity. So lastly, we will focus on the human cognitive abilities, where the constant use of technology, Google, and artificial intelligence will result in digital amnesia, where when people resort to technology first when they face difficult questions. So we don't even think or solve problems with our own brain anymore. We will just look up on the internet and ask ChatGPT about certain problems, and they will give us solution. So we will look at this from the Islamic standpoint, which is from Al-Ghazali's theory of true knowledge. So he said that true knowledge is based on knowledge of senses and knowledge of intellect. So he focuses on the use or the integration of intellect in seeking knowledge. So when you use AI, you ignore your mental capacity, your cognitive abilities, your brain to learn, to think, and to solve problem on its own. So when we truly depend on this technology and this artificial intelligence, can we consider the knowledge that we get from them as knowledge? Because it does not come from ourselves. We do not conclude, we do not think, we do not solve it on our own by using our mental capacity. So this actually make us think again or reflect whether this AI generated content or knowledge can be considered as knowledge based on what Al-Ghazali said before. So in conclusion, we can see that we cannot totally prohibit the use of AI as it is somehow mingled in our life as part of our life right now, but we actually have to play our part in which we have to filter, to recheck and to review back all this information, whether it is true, whether what they are saying is actually correct.
Assalamualaikum. Right now we talk about the case study. While Al-Ghamdi 2025 shows the student view generative AI positively for academic development, it is present the hidden danger, cognitive overloading and also cognitive passivity. Over-relying on the ready-made answer causes students to step back from the rigorous mental reasoning. And also throughout the Islamic framework, this is directly threatens masyakoh, the necessary intellectual exertion akal, and also the contemplation tafakkur. One Muhammad Azam 2026 said the notes this is the dependency undermines ilmu al-husuli. It is confuses the mere position of facts malumat with the mystery of the truth of the knowledge al-ilmu. Furthermore, AI produces repetitive formulate outputs contradicting the spirit of ijtihad. Al-Ghamdi 2025 also highlights a disciplinary studies divide AI suits the structural logic of STEM but fails in the humanities and also the religious sciences. Ulum Ad-Din, which is require tazkiyatun nafs, soul purification and also the human wisdom hikmah as taught by Imam Al-Ghazali. In conclusion, if education only values perfect tasks without as a spiritual light, nur, and also the moral upbringing, tarbiyah will disappear. We risk creating a digital generation bankrupt in adab. So that's all from me.
We have made a survey regarding these topics amongst IIUM students, where it showed a clear pattern. While nearly all respondents appreciate AI and Google for accessibility and speed, they also recognize the risk of over-reliances. For example, 95% of students agree that digital tools make information easier to access, but 75% emphasize that information alone does not equal to true knowledge. In fact, 100% of students agree that ilmu requires wisdom, understanding, and application. Students also acknowledge that the technology reshapes learning habits, yet risk reducing engagement with teachers and banks. Importantly, 90% students stress the needs to verify information, and 95% warn that the excessive use of AI weakens critical thinking. This student suggestion highlights the balance using AI as a helper, not a replacement, and cross-checking with Quran, Hadith, and reliable sources. Overall, the findings confirm that IIM students value technology but remain critically aware that true knowledge in Islam must stay tied to ethics, wisdom, and also spiritual purpose.
Okay, so next for the critical reflection, we can conclude that AI cannot and should not be entirely rejected, as it offers immense pedagogical value for personalized learning and educational engagement. However, institutions and educators must actively implement clear ethical guidelines, and AI should only be a tool to make things easier, not a replacement for real learning. If we rely too much on perfect AI answer, we will raise a generation that has a lot of data but lack manners in adab, tarbiyah and hikmah. Okay, in short, Muslims do not need to reject AI, but we must be smart in controlling it. Use AI only to speed up our work, not as a place to take answer blindly. And most important, we must diligent for verify the facts and always be guided by revelation, which is wahyu, so that the true value of knowledge is preserved.